We do all this in support of the United Nations because it is the only international system that stands for peace, represents the global collective interest, and protects the international law. And today we are witnessing the gravest violation and breakdown of the international law since the Second World War. As a result, peace and security are in demise. This is why the EU support for the UN now is more vital than ever. The war in the Middle East has caused immense instability and cost far too many lives. It is no longer regional or simply about the security in the region. It affects ripple worldwide. Citizens from Europe to Asia are suffering from higher energy prices. Farmers from Africa to South America are facing fertilizer shortages. And the crisis is accelerating structural vulnerabilities in the global system, concentrated energy dependencies, fragile trade corridors, and the asymmetric exposure of emerging economies. Together, the crisis in Europe and the Middle East represent the clearest sign yet of an abandonment of the old rules, including the UN Charter. A new world is now in the making, characterized by competition and coercive power politics. A world order dominated by a handful of military powers who aim to establish spheres of influence. How the world responds to this moment says less about the new emerging order than it does about us, because we have been here before. We are hearing a lot about multipolarity today, but let's be clear. Multipolarity, unrestrained by the UN Charter or international law, multipolarity, guided only by the spheres of influence, has never been peaceful, stable, nor conducive to global security or evenly distributed economic development. Excellencies, if we pledge to the founding principles of the United Nations, including the UN Charter, and envisage growing the body of international law, then we must agree to how to make the rules stick. To make the rules stick, we must strengthen accountability. International law is only as effective as we are willing to make it. The need for accountability is why we are helping set up a tribunal for the crime of aggression against Ukraine. Without the crime of aggression, which is the leadership crime, there wouldn't be any war crimes either. Without leadership accountability, war crimes will persist. The Security Council bears special responsibility for making the rules stick, because there can be no security in the world of impunity. And this is why I salute the initiatives to curb veto abuse, such as the initiative introduced by Liechtenstein to trigger a General Assembly debate when the veto is used, and also the French and the Mexican initiative to curtail the use of the veto in the case of atrocity crimes. When this body fails to deliver on its responsibility for peace and security, we should consider reverting the question to the General Assembly.
Jelajahi cara baru mendapatkan informasi. Download MetroTV Extend sekarang.